This is a story about stories.
Exarcheia is magic. You can do something different here.
And a personal quest to answer the question,
so why are there so many bookstores in this neighbourhood?
My journey started here in Athens, Greece, at the Freethinking Zone, a bookstore on the border of the Exahia neighbourhood. I'd been out on a date with my love when we came across this place. It is a perfect bookstore, more than a bookstore. It's a meeting place for different minds and ideas, debate and intrigue. What I didn't know then is that this treasured corner is not alone. As we kept walking, more and more bookstores kept appearing. I had never seen so many in one place. Feeling curious, in a world allegedly less and less interested in physical books, I wanted to know what makes this place an outlier. So I set out to ask the bookstore owners what makes this place so special. There was just one small issue. I was feeling shy.
I'm struggling a little bit to put myself out there, and I know why. Because I want to avoid being rejected. Which is totally ludicrous. I think I have to just get out of my comfort zone. So maybe today is just going to be about asking people if they'll give me a few minutes of their time to answer some questions and share some of their own insights.
Embarrassingly, I did not manage. Back in Exahia, I started walking the neighbourhood streets, wanting to learn more about this place before the bookstores had arrived. Exarcheia originally got its name from Vasilis Exahos in the late 1800s, a rich guy in the neighbourhood who ran a shopping centre. Back then it was fairly empty, but due to the Greco-Turkish War, 1.5 million displaced Greeks needed a new place to stay. Exarcheia was where many refugees relocated. Situated under the hill, it became known as Neapoli Exarcheia, a new city. Lots of intellectuals moved in, among them artists and writers, and also anarchist groups. It was, and still is, a centre for intellectual life. Surely one reason why there are so many bookstores.
This neighbourhood has everything, from used bookstores to new bookstores, rare bookstores, publishers, and even bookbinders.
Exahia spans only a little bit more than half a square kilometre, about 75 football pitches, making the concentration of bookstores exceptional. No one knows the exact number. I mapped over 50 bookstores alone, but when you include other book-related businesses, like publishers and printers, the number soars past 200 easily. As I scouted it out, it struck me that one reason there might be so many bookstores may be because like attracts like. People, bookstore owners and book-buying customers, like to gravitate towards those who share similar interests. Before I saw it, I would have assumed that an independent bookstore would like to be alone, to remain unique. However, watching the streets and seeing the various book lovers move throughout the community, I witnessed a network at play and thought about how the success of one might actually increase the likelihood of success for the other. I tried again to speak with someone.
Hello. Hi. I'm making a short documentary about all the wonderful bookstores. And are you perhaps open to answering a couple of questions about why you think it's so special?
No.
No?
But I was undeterred.
A lot of the people that I'm speaking to actually seem to be surprised about what I'm telling them. This experience of being surrounded by so many places selling books and being dedicated to writing and reading it's got me thinking about this inability to sometimes be able to appreciate what we have and what's right in front of us. I really think that what's going on here is magical and rare. It's a bit of a myth that the publishing industry in general is doing badly since the internet age. The publishing industry has in many ways found other sources of revenue. They've gone into ebooks, they've gone into audiobooks. There's a lot more self-publishing than there was, which can only be a really good thing, as more people can get their art and their work out there. But the thing that makes this neighbourhood radical and unique is that these are all places dedicated to the physical book, to the art of coming together and finding a story that you didn't know existed yesterday. It's a place which makes you dream a bit, because it feels like there's so much potential.
Another theory I heard from a book publisher about why this neighbourhood has so many bookstores is the proximity to a big university. The National Technical University of Athens is situated in Exahia. Years ago, the university decided to start providing 10 free books for every student. To make sure they could access the books easily, the publishers gathered around the university so they didn't have to walk far. This is one such place. If you're a student specialising in classical studies, archaeology or ancient and fine art, you can visit this very store and pick up the text for free. 2 things inspire me about this. The hunger and reverence this neighbourhood has for sharing knowledge. I would have loved something like this when I was a student in the UK. And 2, the way it becomes its own kind of ecosystem. Each type of book-related experience needs another. They pop up as individuals, but end up pollinating each other as they cluster together like a meadow of flowers. They're able to share supply chains and offer customers complementary experiences, all within a very close walking distance. Pick up a new book here, get one for your nephew there. Why not visit a used bookstore or kick back with a coffee at your latest find? Further down the street, I came across this place who kindly let me into the belly of their operation. Stepping through these narrow, book-lined corridors, I felt grateful. Spending the day weaving through books had confirmed what I already knew. This place is damn special. I had kept getting no's to interview requests, perhaps because they're more into books than YouTube, but I had been welcomed everywhere I went. But all of a sudden, I felt silly again. The smell of vintage paper and my aching shoulder weighed down by my bag of books taunted me. What was I doing? I was drowning in words and honestly began questioning a lot of my life choices. I started to sway too close to the towers of books, worrying I would bring them all toppling down.
Well, I'm about €100 down. And I still don't have anybody to interview for my movie. I mean, I'm a beginner. I have no credibility. There's nothing I can point anyone to. I don't want to lie, I want to be honest, and I am so used to having the cushion of a well-known name behind me to ask for someone's time. And I think so much of this honestly is in my head. Like most of the places that I went in today, fear took over. I didn't even ask. And when I do ask, I've got this really weak tone and it's I'm behaving like I don't have a right to ask to be there. Yeah. Just gonna have to go again. Persistence.
If my voice was failing me, I would try words. As I taxied back to Exahia, I readied myself for another day of no's. I'd been so focused on the bookstores, this time I aimed for the covers, the book binders. There, squished between cafes for over 70 years, I found Yanis's place.
Kalimera. I'm making a short documentary about the book.
Making what?
A short documentary about the bookstore scene in this wonderful neighbourhood.
Yes.
Is it okay for me to film some of what you're doing?
Of course.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you very much.
He tells me.
Exarcheia's magic. I can talk about that many hours to explain what is going on here. There's no one thing. Everything is about the book. Okay. We feel strong because one main point is our history. It's the DNA of the people. It's something different we don't have. We fight too much, but we're so friendly too much. This is the way we live. Here we have party from nothing.
The best reason.
The best reason is nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, Exarcheia, yes. I take this job from my father. Everyone who has libraries needs us. You prepare 10, 15 books and you continue the next day and the day after. It's not something that we can do in one day.
I ask him if all books are welcome.
Any kind. It's from 1934. But you might have the philosophy of the book. You have to know about the books too much. Because every book has one history and you have to see it from its way of every book. There's nothing standard.
Nothing is standard. Could that be why there are so many places celebrating books in this neighbourhood? If books represent ideas, then this place has no limits. It encourages and fiercely protects people and stories rooted in originality, in difference. As I readied myself to accept I wasn't going to get an interview with a bookstore owner, life came full circle. Areti at Freethinking Zone was up for a chat.
Many no's is one yes.
Areti wasn't comfortable to be interviewed on camera. As someone who'd been experiencing my own share of nerves, I totally got it. Over a cup of coffee, I listened as she told me all about her brilliant bookstore. She starts by sharing more about Exahia and why books are so important.
All the area has created a reputation of intellectual and the revolt area. Many anarchist groups started in this area, resistance against the systemic things and the things we don't like. Books are the only way we can fight racism, fascism and populism.
I ask why she started her own bookstore.
Back then, 13 years ago, in 2011, we had austerity measures and we were in the verge of bankruptcy as a country. So the situation in the public dialogue was very tense. I saw that friends were starting to be enemies. You couldn't say your opinion without taking sides, for instance. I want to do something about all this. Perhaps by quitting my job and do an NGO, it will be better. But I thought the majority of NGOs don't have the nicest reputation in Greece and worldwide. So I didn't want to create an NGO because I wanted something to be transparent and open. So what is better than a bookshop? I will open a bookshop and a cafe.
Areti describes her wish for the Freethinking Zone.
I wanted people to come inside and discuss freely. People that I don't necessarily agree with. People that I don't necessarily like. I'm not allowed to censor anything here. So I said I will create a space where everyone can freely express their opinions. Here, which are the activists, all the section with queer books, LGBTQI, patriarchy, feminism. At the table, they will sit in different opinions, not the same, because we have the tendency to speak only to the people we like. It's called Affinity Bias, this one.
How has the experience been of bringing together a mix of people with different ideas?
It's not easy. Many slammed the door to me and said, no, I don't want to talk with him. Why you invite him in the shop? I don't want to sit in the table near to him. So you many resistance from all parts. I will never regret about opening this. As many people as are educated, people can express their opinion freely without fear and exchange opinions so that we can move on as a society. And you are less afraid if you read the book. There is no other better way than face someone other than the knowledge.
As I walked away from the Freethinking Zone, a thought grew louder and louder. I realised there is no one single answer as to why there are so many bookstores in this neighbourhood. It's overdetermined. There's multiple reasons. I was struck with one final thought.
The volume of people interested in and engaging in ideas that have been written down from thousands of years ago right up to modern day is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And what I've heard from the people who run them signals that those elements that bookstores can offer us, the belief that we can grow and change with new ideas, the importance of being curious and learning about worlds outside of our own is something that Athens seems to really prioritise, especially this neighbourhood.
So there's another reason, maybe why there are so many bookstores. The commitment and the values of every person working so hard to offer something really special. Every person I spoke with had their own story and reasons for helping make this neighbourhood prosper into becoming a bookstore utopia. I know one thing for sure. I'm so happy this place exists.